How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
So I saw this article because the writer's strike was like kind of that was taken care of. They came to some kind of tentative agreement. So they started jump starting all these scripts that they were going to work on, and the movies that they put in the headline were Deadpool 3, Gladiator 2, Beetlejuice 2, Venom 3.
Yeah.
And they're all sequels, and I don't know if they just did that because it's the it make the headline more clickable, but like that's like there's no where's the originality, man? Like there's no.
Yeah. I think here's how I feel about a sequel.
Yeah.
You can't have a sequel unless you can't have Gladiator 2 because he already died at the end of the first one, and you need
Yeah.
that continuity of the same character. Like you can't just keep it's no longer a sequel, you're just calling it Gladiator 2, but it's not actually a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Thelma and Louise too.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't have Thelma and Louise 2 unless Thelma, Louise, and the car that goes over the cliff are all in the movie.
You need that. Yeah, it's Thelma and Louise 2, starring Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in that. He was the cowboy in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The biggest star in the movie, Brad Pitt. What? Well, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That Gladiator 2 is not even. That's not even a movie that should. That's a movie that should not have a sequel.
Right.
Like Thelma and Louise. What? So let me pose this question to you: what other movies are there out there that can't have a sequel? That just cannot have a sequel
Yeah.
because Thelma and Louise went off that cliff. They can't have a sequel. What
Right.
else is out there?
Oh yeah. Okay. So we already used Thelma and Louise. The obvious one, because I feel like everyone says this one, is Titanic.
The Titanic.
Yeah. Because ship went down, you know?
Yeah.
Like how do you have another Titanic? You can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's make a
You
sequel
want to really?
for the Titanic.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do the
So
Titanic.
wait, you want to
too.
you want to think of making a sequel? Like how would you make a sequel for Titanic?
Yeah. Let's workshop an idea for the
Yeah,
Titanic
but you can't.
too.
Okay, so yeah, but you can't do it. That's the whole problem.
Yes. Most writers can't. I think that we can.
Okay. So you want to use it as like an exercise to see if we can
You know,
troubleshoot how would you do Titanic. So I'll
I
tell you
don't-
what
I'm
you
not
need in the
saying-
movie.
I'm not saying that we'd be able to get
Yes.
James Cameron on board, but but I think
He would be on
he'd
board
be on board with this.
because he loves ocean movies. Here's what you need then. You need DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, and the Titanic in order for it to be an actual Titanic sequel,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It can't be a prequel, so you can't just do this let's just go back in time before they meet, and then they have these cute meets where they don't actually see each other because whatever.
Yeah.
DiCaprio's character Jack is stealing something, and he bumps into Kate Winslet, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh dear, you
Yeah.
peasant!
I never.
Don't touch me with your grubby peasant hands." But she doesn't see him because he's kind of hiding his face from the police. You know,
Right.
it's like, oh yeah, wow, yeah, that's prequel stuff, so that
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
You can't.
Has to be a sequel.
Yeah, you can't cast different actors either. You have to have them.
Yeah.
And you can't just make it some cheesy it's a second ship called Titanic. It's called Titanic 2, the
Yeah,
ship.
yeah.
That would be stupid.
We could bring
be
Billy
done.
Zane back. We could bring Billy Zane back,
We should
But-
we should definitely
but
bring
not
back
the
Billy
same
Zane.
actor. We'll
Yeah.
use the actor from The Mummy that looks like Billy Zane, and he'll
Yeah,
play
the
Billy
guy,
Zane's
the mummy-
character.
Yes. Yeah, he'll play Billy and no one will know.
No one will know.
No one will know. They'll be like, wow, yeah, Billy Zane was great in that. I'm not Billy Zane. I'm a different dude. Yeah, you almost can't do it.
Yeah.
It has to be, you can do it.
Okay. Okay.
You make it you either make it a horror film or a psychological kind of thriller.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, so you pull a James Cameron and you switch genres, right? You go from like
Yeah.
Terminator being like a horror, psychological sci-fi thriller to
Now it's
an action movie.
Yeah,
We're taking straight out of the James Cameron book.
that's right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I know how to do it.
Okay, all right. We're off and running. What do we do?
All right, you want me to just go through it?
Let's see it. Let's see what you got.
Okay. All right, here's how you start it, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the first Titanic, they've got Kate Winslet, and it's just showing pictures of her. This is after the old lady ruins the movie by throwing that precious diamond in the ocean. It shows pictures of her, so she's like horseback riding, and she's flying airplanes, and she's wrestling a bear. I don't know if she gets crazy, you know,
Yeah, okay.
after Jack dies. So you start the movie right there.
Yeah.
With her, like, you know, jumping over something on a horse, you know, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
She's jumping over something, you know. She's married to some new guy, you know. And then it's like that old school thing. So they're like, oh, Frederick, I believe she's better at jumping than you are on your
right.
own horse, you know. And the guy's all, you know, like gets his, you know, whatever it is, masculinity hurt, you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, you know.
Yeah, because he was so masculine before. He's twirling his stopwatch.
He's got the monocle. Yeah. And then she's going by like a totally different name too. So
Okay.
like no one really knows who she is.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's got this fear of like boats where he's like, oh, I want to go like, you know, he's like a sea captain or something like that. And she's got a fear of boats, obviously, because she was on the Titanic. But he doesn't know she was on the Titanic. Different identity, you know?
Okay, all right.
So here's what happens.
Okay.
Now we're like, this is where modern movies would start this part at the beginning of the movie, and I hate when they do this because it's stupid.
Okay.
Because it's basically like telling the audience like you don't have a good enough attention span, you know, to just watch through like the normal life of this person.
Yeah.
So we can set this base for you.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're like 15 minutes in. And this is the like inciting incident. The inciting incident is there's a ship. And this could be like the sea captain's like cousin that we met while she's like jumping the horse. Maybe it's the guy that's all trying to be machizo and gets, you know, embarrassed by Kate Winslet.
Machizo.
Yes. So he's on the ship, right?
Yeah.
And they're going over that same spot where Titanic is. And they're like, okay, like iceberg, you know, that whole thing, you know, and they're like navigating fine.
Yeah.
And the guy's got his little thing of tea and, you know, like, oh, this is going to go very well, you know, clear sailing.
Yeah.
And now they're over the Titanic. We're like under the water seeing the Titanic.
Okay.
They're over the Titanic.
Yeah.
And the ship stops, powers down, nothing's working, and now there's extra people on the ship.
Okay. All right.
You know?
Yeah.
And now we see the silhouette of what could be a young, dashing Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
With like the suspenders and that, like, you know, the way he would stand, you know?
Yeah.
With his
It's the way he'd
whatever.
stand.
Yeah, his floppy
Floppy haircut.
his haircut, his golden retriever haircut. You know, his beautiful mane.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but we don't actually see that it's him.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And the captain's just like, dear God,
Right.
you know, something stupid. And then like it cuts, and like that's that storyline. And now we're back, and now the husband, Kate Winslet, who's the sea captain, is like, I just got orders, that like my cousin's ship has gone missing. I'm gonna go over and see if we can, you know, find him.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna go down like that same path.
It's a rescue mission.
Kind of, yeah, sort of like a rescue mission, but really more of a like, he's probably fine,
Yeah.
but I've got to go down that way anyway, so I'm going to go over there.
Okay.
And since I'm going to be taking this cruise ship,
Yeah.
why don't you come with me to, like, you know, Kate Winslet?
Yeah.
And now, for some reason, this is something we'd have to figure out, she can't say no. Like, she has to go with them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if this is something we need to establish now.
I mean, there might have to be like some kind of radio call to shore, where this guy's like, "There's extra people on this boat, and one of them has a golden retriever haircut," and she's like, "Jack," and so she thinks it's Jack.
God.
She knows it's Jack because of the suspenders. No rich person would wear those suspenders.
Yes. No, that's so good. Yeah, like they get a radio. Did they have radios back then? They get a radio call or some some SOS, you know?
Yeah.
And and the only thing that came through was like what's his name? Dawson? Jack Dawson.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that came through. And now she's like, I have to go. What the heck does that mean? Why this thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then they now go over there. They have the exact same thing happen where the ship loses power, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And now she's seeing Jack on the ship. But at first it's like the whole cheesy kind of, Outer Limits thing where like you're just seeing him like walk past the doorway, but you're like, did I really see him or did I not see him? It's that type of situation.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't going to be a good movie, but we're making it work.
We're making it work, yeah.
But then the whole premise from there on is now it's just sort of like you either make it a horror film, where she's got to, like in the first movie, she basically murders Jack by letting him stay in the water by himself.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's like, I'll never let you go, and she totally lets him go and just lets his body like sink down to the bottom, So it's like you either have it a horror film where like now he's trying to get revenge, but she wins again and murders him again. Like she kills him all over again.
She beats him to death with a door, the same door that she used to kill him last time.
She kicks him off the door. There's plenty of room on there. No, I'm comfortable.
I'll never let you go again.
Why are the 50? Could you like move one of these 50 pillows on the door and maybe I can get on it?
I like these pillows.
These are my pillows. So like you either have it a horror film like that where like now he's kind of coming for like revenge.
Yeah.
She's got to like spark that like love that they had in him so that she can now like release him and then his ghost can, Patrick Swayze disappear at the end of Ghost.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of situation. But she's basically killing him again. That's the joke of it that we would put in there.
Yeah.
Like this chick just destroyed this guy twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy's basically saving her life like 50 times in a row.
At some point in the movie, she could draw him.
Yeah.
And but she's not an artist, so it looks terrible.
He's like stick figure. It's a stick figure.
With just one stick.
The third leg. He's got 3 legs. Why do I have 3 legs? That's not a leg. Oh dear! Oh dear!
Oh my! The guy with the stopwatch. Oh, never.
The guy with the monocle. Just faints. Scandalous.
So then Billy Zane is also on the boat.
Yeah, we could have
like a whole subplot with Billy Zane he sees her. He suspects that she still has that big giant diamond, and he wants it back. And so he's trying to get it back.
You could have like 2 storylines with that. You could either have the storyline of like Billy Zane also gets the message of Jack Dawson.
Okay.
And he's, you know what I mean? Like
Jack Dawson.
Yeah, good grief.
To see that man again.
What? How? Right over the same spot where the Titanic sunk, It's Billy Zane. And then Billy Zane's just slapping everybody.
Yeah.
Slapping everyone.
Yeah. Pushing women and children out of the way, like all the time, just getting through doorways.
That's not even Billy Zane. Yeah. He's just constantly like cursing everyone.
Yeah.
Even God himself couldn't sink this ship. Would you shut up, Billy Zane? Every time you say that, the ship sinks. Stop challenging God. God himself couldn't sink this lifeboat. It's a sturdy lifeboat.
God wouldn't sink a ship again. A second ship.
Oh, I dare you. I dare you, you coward. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah. Then, yeah, so you either go that route or you go the route where, like, he recognizes her, but she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and he just thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
So you're pulling that whole, like, maybe it's not her, you know?
I'm not Rose.
He kind of does that thing.
I'm Daisy. That's a completely different flower.
Different name, yeah. It's a different flower, yeah. And I've got an Australian accent, you know? He's just like, this phony thing. But yeah, so yeah, you either go that route, the horror route, or you can go kind of like a psychological thriller too, where he's kind of like, you know, you let me go, Rose, you know? You weren't supposed to let me go. Where's the diamond?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that kind of thing, you know?
Where's the diamond?
Or you could even make it a romance story all over again. By just having it where, like, now they're having this romance, but she's like, I got to get back to my normal life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe she has a kid at this point, you know, with the new husband. And she's like, I have to get back to, like, my child. I got to live the life that, like, we never really got to have together. I still have to live that and, like, have these experiences. And then now he can kind of, like, let go.
Yeah,
you know,
he has closure.
He's been holding on.
He's got
But it's like that, it's a ghost. It's a Patrick Swayze, you know, thing.
Yeah.
It's a very Patrick Swayze story. But yeah, you could actually make a Titanic 2.
Yeah. I think
and have it. I don't know if it would be good. I don't know if you could make it good.
Wow.
But you could make it where it's like where this is legitimate. There is Kate Winslet, there is Leonardo DiCaprio, there is a Billy Zane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's not the Billy Zane.
No,
it's the other one. But Billy Zane's in it, and you have the Titanic in it as well.
Yeah.
Like all the pieces are together. It's a legitimate sequel, Titanic 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I probably would have gone in a totally like camp direction where it's like it's another cruise going over like that, you know, the exact reverse route that the Titanic took, and then when they get to where the Titanic is, it's like zombies, and it's like zombies climbing up, and then it's like, oh, there's Jack Zombie, and then like the Titanic, you know, comes back too, and it's like a broken like zombie ship, and then like two ships bang into each other, two ships go down. It's a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
gotta
two
be
ships
twice
now.
as good. It's gotta be twice as good. So there's two ship sinkings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole time Billy Zane is on like the second ship that's like has all the like regulations and it's improved and like and he's like, nothing can sink this ship, and he went down himself while it's sinking. I'll
give you a head start. It's like poking holes in the bottom of the boat.
I dare you to sink it, you coward.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But we both went horror. We both thought horror immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't think of a, you know, I can't think of another genre to make that work, to make that happen. But
yeah, I mean the other thing you can do is you make a Titanic 2 and Jack didn't die. Now we're going like this is like super.
Now he's just pissed.
This is super. This is super like, you know, cheeseball where they just never kill off characters anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Jack never died. He made it into, you know, a lifeboat, or he survived. Yeah. And now he, like, you know, years later after he regains.
Yeah.
Because the cold froze it out of him.
The cold froze his memory.
He goes back for Rose, you know?
Yeah.
He goes back for Rose. Then you could even have this, like, they fall in love again kind of situation.
Yeah.
But the cold has, you know, destroyed his brain to the point where, like, there's something weird in him now. Then he goes back out to where the Titanic is with her, like, kidnaps her. They go back out to the Titanic.
Yeah.
Then she kills him all over again.
no matter what the genre is.
I want that ending.
We're going to kill him ending. Every time he dies.
I want her pushing him off of the door and just, you know, releasing him into the deep.
It's like that scene where they're like out front. It's like, I feel like I'm flying.
Yeah,
she like grabs him, just like throws him overboard.
Judo throws him. Judo throw. Hiya!
It's like, Rose, why? Oh man. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can. So okay.
You
Changing
can
the,
do it.
Changing the sequel
Yeah.
like makes. I mean, not changing the sequel. Changing the genre just makes
Yeah.
all the difference there.
Yeah, I
Um.
think I feel like some of the directors kind of figured that out. Like James Cameron does it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Terminator
Yeah.
2 was more action.
Yeah.
Terminator
It's an
felt
action
more
film.
like horror. And
Yeah.
then
And then
when
Aliens.
he did the sequel to Alien and like kind of
Yeah.
changed it into an action film. He gets it. You know.
Yeah, I
He's-
mean, we wouldn't do
he's pretty
the
good.
Titanic. Yeah, he would make Titanic 2 an action film, though.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
would do that, yeah. I don't know. But we're not James Cameron. We're not like as good as James Cameron is.
Yeah.
James
see.
Cameron could figure out how to make anything an action film.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's okay. He's like the most successful movies. that
It's a
have
wonder.
ever-
James Cameron does It's a Wonderful Life 2 and makes it an action film. You listen to me, Potter.
Yeah.
Just
Like, I want to live, but I want you to die. Punching people.
oh my gosh. No, Jimmy Stewart. Yeah.
Okay, so we can make a sequel off of a
Yes.
movie that can't have a sequel.
Well, I didn't think you could make a sequel off of it. Yeah.
Right. But we
you can.
We can do
Yeah.
it. But what's a movie that should not have a sequel? Like this is a movie that
yeah.
couldn't have a sequel.
You
What's a
mean
movie
other
just-
than Titanic?
you should yeah. A movie that
Is that where we're going with this?
like maybe you can make a sequel of it, but you shouldn't because
Okay.
it's just
you you could make a sequel, but you shouldn't. I feel like we already have like an example of this with The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh well yeah.
Now they did a
made a remake.
prequel.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right,
they
there
did
was
like
a
a
prequel.
prequel. They did a prequel to it. But I'll tell you what I didn't like about it.
Okay.
Okay. So the beauty of John Carpenter's The Thing
Yes.
is that we've been debating, like you can still go on YouTube or wherever and find videos of people trying to figure out who The Thing is.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for like 40 years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So the moment you start explaining it with another movie, you're ruining that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
we're going to go another 20, 30, 40 years with people still trying to figure this thing out. They're
Yeah.
still trying to map it, and no one's going to be able to do it. And that's the fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I feel like George Lucas did that with Star Wars. Because when I was a kid, we would debate like the Force and what it was and
Yeah.
how you could achieve it. And like Mallrats had like a whole, B plot where like one of the guys is trying to use the Force. I think it's Silent J. He's trying to use the Force like the whole movie, And it's hilarious because we used to do that because we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Then George Lucas made the prequels and explained it to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
To death, and no one ever talks about the Force anymore.
Right.
Where we're like philosophizing about what it is, what it could mean, what are all these little things, because you explained it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you're not going to be able to explain it as well as the millions of people who want to debate it. They want to have the fun of debating it.
The millions of people that are coming up with their own theories.
Yeah.
It's magnets.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I could do better than that moron who thought it was magnets. Yeah. No, I get that. There is something, I mean, there are movies that have tons of sequels, and like Halloween, and then like Halloween 5 or 6 or something, they like try and explain why Michael doesn't die, and it's some kind of like voodoo, like witchcraft, like they did they made a curse on this kid. And it's like, well, that's not fun anymore. Like, what makes him so creepy in the first and second, the second one's really good too, is like, why won't he die? And like, it's really creepy when you're watching it, but it's not so creepy when they explain like, oh, this is why. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh,
that's not as fun.
Yeah. Well, the whole, like the psychiatrist in the first one is basically like just saying like he's pure evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're like, this psychiatrist like belongs in the nut house.
Right.
And then the movie ends and you're like, was this guy onto something?
Yeah.
But he's not. What he's saying is kind of like broad, so it allows you to fill in the gaps with your own imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think they just get a little bit too into like, let's explain everything.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you ruin the magic. Like now you're explaining the trick behind the magic trick, and now it's not fun to watch the magic trick anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. The explaining thing just it ruins things, but like there's also just there's some movies that should just kind of be left alone. Or it's like even if you don't explain it, like the Halloween, and I'll make allowances for Halloween 2 and 3 for that matter, because it's not Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, Season of the Witch. Yeah.
But there's like a bunch of sequels after that where it's like, man, they made sequels to this movie and they just should not have. Like Halloween and Halloween 2 were a lot of fun. Like they're really good.
Yeah.
And then like same with, The Thing. It's like it's not something that you should make a sequel of because it's just going to ruin it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like remakes could kind of have the same. Same problem. It's like we're gonna remake the movie now, and then like they'll have the same issue where it's like they're either going to try and explain it or they're going to try and recapture the magic, and it's just so rarely pulled off that they're able to do that.
Yeah, I have like a criteria for what I think they should remake, like the movies that they should remake and the movies that they shouldn't.
Okay.
Because I saw, I don't know if it's a remake or not, or if it's based on it, but I saw a movie called The Bourne Identity, and it's starring, I don't even know who it is, but it's like made in like the 80s or late 70s.
Yeah.
And I thought like, is this like about Jason Bourne, the whole Matt Damon thing?
Yeah.
And then I was like, when I saw this movie, I was like, that's a perfect movie to remake.
Yeah.
Because it's a decent movie.
Okay.
And then I saw Man on Fire.
Right.
And then with, I don't know who was in it either. One of the guys from The Right Stuff is in it.
Okay.
But it's later on, I think it was like, who was it? Tony Scott made it with Denzel Washington?
Yeah, Tony Scott, Denzel Washington.
The Denzel Washington's great. The Matt Damon Bourne Identity is great.
Yeah.
The Man on Fire without Denzel Washington was a very decent movie. Like, it's a good movie. It's decent, though. It's not great.
It's watchable.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, that's what you should be remaking. Remake stuff that's in the, like, 6.5 on IMDb range and down.
I'm trying to make it an 8.
Yeah. Don't remake The Godfather.
Right.
It's going to suck. Don't remake Ben-Hur, which they did.
Yeah.
It's going to suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't remake the best movies ever made because they're popular and people know about it and you're going to pull them in.
Yeah.
Now you're just going for the cash grab and everyone knows it. Don't remake Ghostbusters. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
There were...
other than the fact that they did do it again with the kids, and I thought that was actually pretty good.
I didn't see that one because I didn't trust them anymore.
Yeah.
I was concerned. I was like, I don't want... I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do that to myself.
I think that one was fun.
Okay. There were rumors. At this point, it was like 15 years ago or something. But there were rumors that they were going to try and remake Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. With Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Playing Butch Cassidy and Sundance, and I was like, that's a terrible idea.
I think Robert Redford told them not to do it.
He's
right?
like, don't do it. He's like, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Don't remake it. Like that's terrible. Terrible.
You're gonna embarrass yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I was in a singing competition, I'll tell you who I wouldn't sing. I wouldn't sing a Whitney Houston song and embarrass myself.
Yeah, you'd sing Randy Newman and embarrass yourself.
Yeah, I'd sing Bob Dylan, or Tom Petty, the guys that crack as much as I do.
Make great music with kind of an odd voice. I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make great music without a voice. Really.
Yeah. I feel like you can remake a movie if you change the genre, because then it's almost like a spoof movie.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't count as a remake. But it's like we could write a remake for The Thing if we change the genre. It can't be horror. It'd have to be a remake.
Yes. Yeah, so you'd want to go more like a
Romance.
Sam Raimi. Oh, a romance. Oh my gosh. I was thinking you wanted to go like campy, like Sam Raimi. A romance.
The
Wait,
Thing
the thing?
as a romance.
Are we allowed to add women into the mix, or is it just an all? Is it
I don't
just? Are we
know.
sticking with the gentleman? Because in the original,
Let's stick with
well,
the
at least the John Carpenter's The Thing, because there is another The Thing movie as well.
right. You know, there's
The Thing is a remake. That's the
Thing,
funny thing about it. John
yeah.
Carpenter's The Thing
So
is a remake.
Yeah, The Thing from Another World was
Yeah.
the 1950s movie, which like was loosely based on the story because they didn't really have the budget to be.
Yeah.
They just made it a big monster guy, and it's good. It's good. And
Yeah.
then they remade it closer to the source material where it's like he's actually shape shifting into people and stuff like that. But The Thing as a romance, I mean, it could be
Yeah.
it's like if The Thing.
You can't do it.
You can do it. You can do it. It can be done. It can be done. So The Thing, okay, The Thing like when he
So you got to stick with
David,
you got to stick with the original cast.
yeah,
then.
there's
You're
Keith
sticking with
David
the
and
original
Kurt
cast?
Russell.
It's got to be Kurt. Okay, so Keith David and Kurt Russell are
And
those
it's
are our
like,
primary characters that end up falling in love.
They like they respect each other, but they don't really like each other. But like there's just some thing about him.
I don't know how to quit you, Keith David, with his voice. With his voice.
Why don't you come on over here?
Kurt Russell, quit this. Just throws a Molotov cocktail at him.
Yeah. You know what you
how
could?
would
Oh,
you
you know what you
make
could
this
do?
a romance. Yes.
I got something here.
Yeah.
So what it could be is that The Thing, when he like turns into somebody, he like releases kind of this like pheromone that makes him irresistible, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what it is. Keith David and Kurt Russell are already a couple.
Okay.
So all of the people around them are getting thinged and are becoming irresistible, and now their relationship
isn't
it has to overcome The Thing.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. They're like, have you ever noticed how attractive Wilford Brimley is?
Yeah, I know. Wilford Brimley with the best part of that whole movie is when he's talking to Wilford Brimley through the door.
Yeah.
He's got the little door
Like,
thing.
I'm not going to kill anybody anymore.
Yeah, I'm fine. And there's the noose, and Wilford Brimley's in the backdrop, and the noose is in front of him.
Yeah.
The noose is in front of
That's
him,
a
and
great
Kurt Russell
shot.
just has this look like there's a noose right there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Like where that would be outlandishly fun to watch. It would be kind of like you could make it a little bit more like probably comedic.
Yes. Yeah.
It would still have that horror element of like being disgusting.
Yeah.
All that like kind of what is it like body horror?
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff where
It's
you're
like the person like kind of when they have the hands, like instead of having like thing hands, they have like toys.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, he's irresistible.
Yeah. Flowers.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it
flowers
could
there.
it could also kind of like end the same way, where it's like it's the two of them. They blow up the thing.
Yeah.
They blow
yeah.
up the whole place, and then it
Yeah.
becomes more a question of like some of these people that we killed. Were they the thing, or were we just like was our relationship just in trouble?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And then they kind of like start laughing. And then there's that same thing at the end where people are like, what were they laughing about? Was it that like, oh, everybody was the thing? Or is it like, no, they actually were thinking about jumping ship and like their relationship's in trouble?
Yes. And even you can go even one step deeper than that, where one of them could potentially be the thing, which is why they reconnected.
Ah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So then you're like, because there could be some point where like now there's like this huge flip of like, oh well, I was looking at Wilford Brimley,
right? Who wouldn't?
But now, yeah. I don't think he has a mustache in that though. For some reason, I always think of him having a mustache.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Then like at some point like now like oh no now I'm really back into like Keith David Kurt Russell thing going on. Oh, then you're like, was that the point where like they flipped, or was that the point where like they found the strength to rekindle the relationship?
Yeah. Did they get thinged?
Yeah. Did they get thinged? So it
Yeah.
could be a like, did they kill innocent people
Right.
to save the relationship?
Yeah.
Did they get rid of the thing, or is one of them the thing? You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
is this thing really gonna make it? This relationship, even if they are normal humans, will they even make it to begin with when they have this much struggle
Yeah.
to begin with?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a great. I really like that. I think we should. Yeah, I think they should make that. Where's John Carpenter? How do
I
we
know.
get in touch with John
John
Carpenter?
Carpenter.
John.
It's all the same actors. All in their like 70s.
Yeah.
I think I mean, you know.
Dude. Yeah. And then and then there'll just be like a scene with like the guy's head crawling away, you know?
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell will just look, and the guy's like eyeballs will turn into like flowers, you know, like heart-shaped flowers. And
Like,
Kurt Russell will just be like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Like flame it.
The head's like crawling away and then like
Yeah, yeah.
blows a kiss, keeps crawling.
Kiss this. Just flamethrowers them.
It did.
Yeah, that
oh,
actually
man.
it is actually there's something really weird about taking something that's impossible
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then being like, let's make it
do it.
possible.
Yeah.
Let's how do you make the thing a romance? I seriously thought you were gonna go the Sam Raimi route, where it was like now it's kind of like more like a comedy, like a campy comedy, like that Drag Me to Hell movie,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like a horror campy comedy.
Yeah.
Which is also something you could do with the thing.
Yeah.
But I think the romance is just something I think couples are going to want to watch together.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good
You know?
Valentine's Day release, you know?
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those landmark anniversary movies that people watch every anniversary together.
You know,
like,
and
oh,
a
we
fair
should
to
watch.
remember love
Yeah.
story, The Thing. You know?
Yeah, we should watch John Carpenter's The Thing love story. That's
Yeah.
like The Thing, like, boop,
Yeah.
love story.
Just do the music, redo the music.
Yeah,
It's a piano
it's
sonata.
yeah, it's a little bit, a little horror, music in there, but a little bit of like love, romance
Yeah.
music in there too.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun all around too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that would be something like everyone would enjoy. Like the people making the, prosthetics that are exploding with, human gore would just love doing that, where it's like, now I get to do this funny thing where like the guy has like a flower or a heart, or his actual heart comes out like, oh, like beating.
Yeah.
It's
like disgusting.
I love you. Yeah, it's just like there's like that disgusting, gross. Like horror fans will love it.
Yeah.
Romance fans, to be honest, are gonna hate this thing.
Yes.
But
yes.
horror fans will absolutely adore it.
Yeah. Yeah. Worth doing. Worth doing.
Yeah. Gosh, I thought you were gonna go the horror route, but I guess since we went the horror route with Titanic, you were like, I gotta mix it up.
Yeah, I didn't want to do a horror.
See what we can do here.
So I wanted to really throw a wrench into it.
Yeah.
It's like, here's something that's impossible. Let's do it. But it works. Yeah, I like it. I don't know that what it is that we're going to be doing, if we're going to be doing something similar for like the next episode, the next time that we do like the podcast.
Really? You think we can do this again? Like,
We'll see.
you think we can handle it?
We'll see how this goes.
We're not drained of brain
No way.
brain juices.
No way. There's you give us something, we can make something out of it. We made a romance out of The Thing.
Yeah, a good one too.
Yeah.